911, what is your emergency?
It all begins with this sentence.
Criminal justice that we have in the United States of America is the best system in the world. It may not be perfect, but it is the best system in the world.
Criminal justice begins with law enforcement responding to a call or a traffic stop, or a report being filed, which can lead to an investigation with the possibility of charges being filed through the district attorney's office. The case is then taken before a judge or a jury. Sergeant Bobby Cox of the McAllister Police Department explains his visual of the criminal justice system.
If you compare the law enforcement and the judicial system and then the citizen, you think in a sense of a mom and a dad and a child. If you don't have those two, the mom or the dad or the law enforcement and the judicial working together, even though they may have disagreements, but if they both agree that regardless of those disagreements, we have a problem and we need to fix it so it doesn't continue.
Everybody needs to realize that there are consequences to their actions. We're the ones that initiate the consequences.
Dispatchers have the difficult task of determining the urgency of every call while keeping up with McAllister Fire, Police, and Medical departments.
And when a person calls 911 and they're frantic, and I know that that is their worst day right then. I understand that. If we don't have an officer available for an immediate danger, we've got to pull them off with something else. You just got to make the decision. Is the call they're on more important than what we need them to go on?
A lot of people don't understand what goes on behind dispatch as well. I'm very fortunate enough that I got to see it, so I respect it. You sit in a room for 8 hours a day and you don't leave. You don't have a window to look out. Most places, that's kind of what McAllister is like. And you're behind that phone and you're listening to people and you're taking their information and you're trying to help them at the same time that you're trying to get the information and get them some more help.
Law enforcement officers have a unique role in the communities they serve.
We are what keeps the bad away from the good. We are the sheepdogs hunting the wolves at night that prey on the sheep.
May very well see more heartache, discontent, violence, death in an 8-hour shift than what most people see in a lifetime.
It's not a Monday through Friday 8 to 5 job. It's every day I walk out that door, it's something different every night.
Patrolling is a huge part of an officer's shift, which can lead to a traffic stop. With this comes great responsibility for split-second decision-making.
You have scenarios going over in your head. If the driver refuses to give you his driver's license, what you're going to do. If the driver pulls a gun on you, what are you going to do? If you smell narcotics whenever you approach the vehicle, what are you going to do?
You don't know how you're going to react in that certain situation until it happens. And so you train and you train and you train. And so when that moment comes, you rely on your training to take over. Because you can't think, you've got to act.
When you're making contact, where's cover, where's concealment, things go bad, can I get cover here? Can I get cover here? You gotta be prepared for the absolute worst thing to happen every time you contact somebody.
Officer and suspect safety is very important on every call and traffic stop. When an officer tells you to do something, the best solution is to do what they say and to tell the truth from the very start.
People just need to do what they're told. We tell you stop, put your hands up. We tell you get on the ground, take your hands out of your pockets. Do as you're told, chances are everything's going to be just fine.
I know it's a natural habit for people to put their hands in their pocket, especially when they're nervous. But we don't know what you have in your pocket, and we probably haven't reached the point to where we've done a pat and we haven't searched the person. You continue to reach your hands in your pocket, you're probably going to get patted down and make sure you don't have weapons because you're either going for it or we're just not going to take that risk. But whether you have a weapon concealed or not, that's the biggest question, and we're not going to take that risk with you having your hands in your pockets. So we want to see your hands.
If you tell me the truth, I'm going to help you all I can. If you lie to me, you're trying to hide something, and what else are you trying to hide? So just come clean, and I bet 95% of the officers, if you just come clean, be honest, and tell them the truth, they'll have a lot more leniency on you than not.
Resisting arrest has become a more recent issue faced by law enforcement.
If somebody resists arrest, we're going to have to do whatever means necessary to effect that arrest.
We teach our guys to try to talk to the suspect, try to talk them down, don't try to use the force.
We want to do everything we can to possibly solve the issue in a nice civil manner. Use of force is at the last resort. We're not out there to be bullies. We're not out there to hurt the public. We're out there to protect the public.
At the end of the day, police officers are just doing their jobs. They want everyone to go home safe and prefer to not write tickets or put people in jail.
As soon as I make contact with somebody, if I have to write them a ticket, how is that going to affect them? Because I know how it would affect me.
I'd say I don't take everybody to job, let a lot of people go.
Police officers must submit a report for every possible crime they respond to. Captain Don Hass reviews these reports and assigns them to detectives.
Once we get a case, we make sure we review it and investigate it and make sure there's probable cause to arrest somebody or to solve the crime, get the property back. And if there's a bad guy that needs to be got, then we get him either through a warrant or on site, according to what the crime is.
And on patrol, you take a report, you're done with it that day, you come back the next day, it's a whole new day. And detectives and investigations, that's still there the next day.
The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation primarily assists law enforcement agencies with critical cases. Assistant Special Agent Jenny Verdon is one of 80 agents in Oklahoma.
Everybody works as a team here at OSBI. I enjoy that because I get to see, as an assistant special agent in charge, the whole case from the ground up, being completed on all the cases in my region. So I see from, the crime scene to the investigation duties, the activities that they do, to all of the interviews they do, and putting that case together. We put it in a prosecutorial form for the district attorney's office.
Dispatch, law enforcement officials, and investigators work together to keep communities safe and bring justice to those who were wronged.
This is a job that we do because we enjoy helping people. We could go out and we could get jobs that pay more. That occasional thank you that we get from a passerby is what means a lot.